How weird are you? That's a weird question to start a podcast off with, right? What if I told you that maybe one of the most effective interview questions when you're interviewing for a new staff member at your church could be this: how weird are you? Sounds a little ridiculous, right? But Zappos does it, the big shoe company. During every one of their interviews, they say, how weird are you? And it reveals, in some ways, more than a resume ever could. So stick around today. I'm going to ask you show you how asking creative, even sometimes strange or even weird questions can lead the way to better hires for your church staff. Hi there. My name is Todd Rhodes. I'm one of the co-founders over at chemistrystaffing.com. I hope you'll check us out at chemistrystaffing.com. Also, I am the host right here on the Healthy Church Staff Podcast, so I'm really excited that you're joining me here today. So today we're going to talk about the power of the unusual question. And if we're honest, most church interviews are pretty painfully predictive. Tell me about your strengths. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Yada, yada. But Zappos, the shoe company, throws in questions like, how weird are you? Now, why would they do that? It's really simple. It's because they care really deeply about their culture fit, not just skills, not just calling. We talked about this with another company yesterday on the podcast. We're continuing that same theme today. But they're not looking just for skills. They're not looking just for calling. But here's what they're looking for, and this is key. Will this person thrive in our environment? Will they survive at Zappos? Okay. I think this is a great idea. I think your church could steal this idea. Maybe not the exact question, unless you want to. I'm sure you can. But steal the concept, right? Ask something offbeat that reveals personality or self-awareness, alignment with who you are as a church. So I really believe that boring interviews a lot of times can equal bad hires, okay? When you're interviewing somebody on your church team for your church team, when you only skim the surface, you risk hiring somebody who really looks good on paper. Maybe they've got the experience. Maybe they've got the chops to do the job because they've already done the job someplace else. But, and here's the kicker, they could be a total mismatch for your team, okay? So smarter churches are asking questions like this. What's a failure you learn from and you would do it again? Okay? What book would you make every staff member read? This is a question you could ask a potential staff member. What question would you make every staff member read and why? What will that tell you? That's going to tell you a lot about them and about a lot about what they value and really help you know whether or not they're going to be a good addition and fit in to your culture and your team. Here's another question. What's something about church culture today that absolutely drives you nuts? That's a telling question. Now, it's a quirky question, okay? It's not a boring question. It's out there. But those kind of questions, they're going to pull out values and personality and fit in ways that tell me what you've been doing, tell me what you like to do, tell me your hobbies, where do you want to be in 5. These quirky type out there questions might seem a little weird. I love to ask offbeat, off-base questions where somebody's going to be like, I've never been asked that in an interview before, or why in the world are you asking me that? You want to see, the goal is you want to see how the candidate thinks, not just how they perform, because the job interview, let's be honest, it's a performance, right? On your part and by their part, right? They're trying to say the right things. They're trying to act the way that they think you want them to act. So these kind of weird questions can really pull that out of them. And you'll get to see their real personality, and you'll get to see their eyes spark up when they give you some of these answers, right? Weird doesn't mean irrelevant, okay? Here's the trick. Creative doesn't mean random, okay? So don't say, what's your favorite cereal? That's a weird question that's also irrelevant, all right? Creative doesn't mean random. It means intentional. So ask questions that are going to connect back to your mission, connect back to your team culture, connect back to maybe a pain point that you have. at your church. For example, if your church thrives on being collaborative among your team, among your staff, if you're a very collaborative staff, ask something like this. I guess it's not really a question, but tell me about a time where you were wrong and somebody else saved the day. That, again, see how that goes back to the collaboration spirit? Tell me a time that you were wrong and somebody else saved the day. Somebody else saved your butt, okay? If your staff struggles with change, another question, if your staff struggles with change, maybe you could say, what's one change you initiated and that failed, and what did you learn from it? Okay? So these kind of questions uncover, again, we're talking this week about emotional intelligence, about humility, about teaching, a teachable spirit, and all this information, man, this is gold when you're trying to hire the right church staff member. So you need to remember this, interview for culture, not just for competency, okay? Churches often hire for skills and fire for fit, okay? Let me say that again because it's really important, and I see it all the time. Churches often hire for skills. Can you do the job? Great, we'll hire you. 6 months later, 18 months later, they're going to fire, not because the person wasn't competent with their skills, but because they're going to fire them because they were not a good fit for the team. So don't get fooled. Don't take the bait. Don't be fooled by somebody who can preach, lead worship, or run VBS like a champ. You need to make sure that you ask questions to reveal if they're going to last and if they're going to love the team and if you're going to love them. That's my message for you today. Ask these kind of deep human questions and relate them back, not just to be irrelevant, right? Relate them back to what you need, what your culture's, and these deep human questions that can help you find out the right person for your next role. Okay. If you're still asking the same interview questions you did 5 years ago, it might be time to shake things up just a little bit because your church deserves more than just a good hire. You need the right hire, okay? And that's what we do at Chemistry Staffing. We do that all day, every day. I think we're doing about 70 searches right now all across the country with churches looking for staff members, senior pastors, youth pastors, worship, kids, executive pastors, all different kinds of roles. And if you need some help, man, we are here. We do this all day, every day. We tend to think that we're pretty good at it. So if there's any way that we can help you along your journey in hiring a staff member, we would love to be able to partner with you. You can reach out to me and just tell me what you're looking for. Maybe we can hop on a quick Zoom call and you can tell me a little bit more about what you're trying to hire. And I can tell you a little bit more about chemistry and just dive in and see if we might make sense to partner together and work on this kingdom thing together. I would love to be able to do that. You can reach out to me anytime at podcast@Chemistry Staffing. Just drop me an email, podcast@Chemistry Staffing. Also love your feedback on this. Send me your answer to this. What's your favorite go-to kind of emotional intelligence interview question that you've used and that's really helped you to hire a really great person? I'd love to hear from you. podcast@chemistrystaffing.com. All right, thanks so much. Hope you have a great weekend. We'll be right back here for you on Monday on the Healthy Church Staff Podcast.